Hey guys, how's it going? Right, okay, so welcome to my Q&A for my 3,000 subscribers, and I was going to get straight to the point and just kick off because there's quite a few questions, so get stuck in. So first up we have a question from John Williamson. Hey John, how's it going mate? Right, okay, so John's first question, so I'm just going to look at the TV so I can read the questions. Okay, question number one. What do you like to do at weekends when not gaming? Not a lot else. Depends. As I said before, it's mostly entertainment stuff like TV shows. I mean, at the moment, because of the season's just started again and all the shows that I watch have restarted, and I'm just overloaded with American TV shows at the moment. I'm just trying to catch up, and I've got like a stack to watch. And some shows like Haven, Warehouse 13. I'm about 3 or 4 episodes behind, so I've got to catch up on them. I'm just trying to keep up with everything else at the moment. That's my big thing at the moment. Yeah, I don't really do it. I live a pretty quiet life, so it's mostly, watch gaming, watching TV shows, watching films. I'm in my 30s, so I don't really, don't go out clubbing and stuff. So. Question number 2: with the lack of retro being taken in local stores and increasing prices on eBay, do you think in the future retro gaming will become too expensive for a lot of normal people? When you say normal people, I'm not too sure what you mean by that, because we're all pretty normal people on here. None of us are rich, that's for damn sure. Yeah, you need to define that, John. I'm not too sure what you mean by normal people there, mate. I don't know. I think at the moment it's the right time to be buying retro because the price is still reasonable, but yeah, I mean, in the future it's going to get silly, I think. It all depends. I've thought about this in the past. It's like, is it going to happen though? It might be the total opposite, and in a couple of years' time, people fall out of love with retro and it's not that big a deal and no one really cares. And we all will still, but there might not be as big a market as there is now. It may come to the point where people just sell them on eBay for tuppence, a couple of quid, they ain't bothered because there is no great demand for them. Or it could just be that the demand keeps going and it keeps growing and growing and growing, and so the prices jack up because the games become more rare. I think like last generation, like Xbox, Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, GameCube, I don't think we're going to have to. Maybe the Dreamcast, those games might become rare because obviously the machine wasn't there for long. So the catalogue of games that were made, even though there's probably quite a few copies made of each game, they will become more scarce as time goes by, I reckon. Xbox, PS2 and GameCube, probably not as much because they just mass produced. But then you never know. Who knows what the future holds? I don't suppose as kids we'd ever expected that 20 years down the line we'd all be buying Mega Drive and Super Nintendo games and having difficulty getting them. So, who knows? It's hard to say really. Question 3. Do you think this generation has lacked replayability in general for trying games again in the future for fun? I don't know. I mean, it sort of has and it hasn't. I think, yeah, I can see your point in a lot of modern games. But I think mainly because it is that cinematic experience. It's not gaming, if you want to put it that way. It's not like the traditional gaming. When you look at, say, the 8 and the 16-bit era where you actually had levels and you had an objective from A to B, it wasn't a cinema experience, whereas now it's more about the story, more about the characters and the character development, and it's less about the actual gaming. And so I think that's really where they lose out on replayability, because for the majority of games, for me anyway, I found that I don't want to really play through the story again. I'm not that bothered. I may pick and choose the odd level here and there to play if I feel like it, but with the exceptions of obviously like Uncharted, where Uncharted 2, and I've played that like 4 times, I think I've completed it now, and I've never skipped a cutscene because it's just that well made and it's just that brilliant. But those kind of games are extremely rare in this generation, in my opinion, from the games I've played anyway. I've tried to find it very difficult to find maybe even another one that has really held my attention that much. Grand Theft Auto 4 did. I only played through it twice to get 2 different endings, but that game was spectacular. I never missed a cutscene either. I went straight through it both times. It was excellent. But yeah, in general, I think this generation, because of the big cinematic experience that they've tried to push onto us, and gaming has evolved and it has to evolve, obviously, like any form of entertainment, it has resulted in the lack of replayability, which is a real shame actually, because you know that is really the core of gaming. You want to be able to keep going back and back and back and just playing over and over again. And when that's not there, bit of a shame, but you know, it does evolve and there's nothing we can do about it. It ain't going to change anytime soon. It's going to just keep going. Right, so that was question number 3. Question number 4. You just walked into a charity shop, which I never do, but okay, so that'd be a new thing for me. And you can see from the door one copy of a signed sealed edition of Starwing, but an NTSC version. An old codger is in the general area. Pretty click correct, nice. Do you A, look politely around the store in the hope he surely doesn't want it? B, run in front of him, get the game and feel a little bad inside? Or C, have a kind word with him and tell him it's a piece of junk and worthless? Honestly, if I'm honest, I'd probably just try and sneak in and grab it. Yeah, I'd have to, because I wouldn't be able to just resist leaving it there. Unless they had a really silly price on it, and then I'd have to walk away. And other than that, yeah, I probably would just sneak in front of him, to be quite honest. Question number 5. Do you feel HD remakes show a lack of creativity in the industry or recognition of the, and then we go back up past the past classics? It's a tough one actually. I think the HD remakes, in their essence, are a really good idea because they are taking what was great and essentially making it better if it's done right. But there's always that potential for just basically upgrading the game to high definition and not really adding any extra content or making it worthwhile in any way whatsoever. And so, yeah, they are good and they are bad in that respect. And I think when you take a classic game and you update it for the modern era, you need to do it the right way. And it's not HD. Well, actually it was HD, but yeah. The GoldenEye game that came out on the Wii and was then put on the Xbox and PlayStation was reloaded, that was a prime example for me. I thought they did a fantastic job on that. They took what was an amazing game already, and they fleshed it out and made it bigger and better, and they improved the game in my opinion. They brought it up to date, and I thought it was far superior to the original. And you know, you don't get that normally. You know, it's usually, especially with Sony anyway, and I'm not bashing Sony because I love Sony, I think they're awesome and the PlayStation 3 is my favourite console, but they are quite happy to just basically reskin a game with better visuals, just upgrade the resolution, put it on a disc and go, there you go, Metal Gear, God of War, HD collection. No point in doing that, I don't think, personally. I think they should at least make an effort, but yeah, I mean, it's just like when Nintendo put out the Mario All-Stars Collector's Edition. That was the biggest con ever. I don't know how they got away with that, but it's Nintendo. Right, next question. Question number 6. I really should have put a cap on questions, shouldn't I? Oh well. Digital distribution is now the only means to creative and unique games via non-major publishers. Do you agree? No. It does seem that way because obviously all of the independent indie stores, all the indie creators and developers who haven't got the big budgets and the big studios behind them, obviously digital downloads is a great source for them to get their games out there. Great avenues to go down. It makes perfect sense because the costs are low as far as I understand. I don't know too much about development, but as far as I understand, it's quite cheap and easy to get the games up on the Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation PSN and get exposure. And of course, with the Wii U coming, it'll be happening on there as well. I've been reading good things about how indie developers are quite happy with the way that Nintendo are going with digital downloads, so that'll be interesting. But no, I don't really see why they can't. If a game, I mean, some of the games like Super Meat Boy and there have been a couple of others that have actually been put out on disc. So if they're successful enough in digital format in the first place, they can go to disc. I suppose it is difficult to actually, you're not going to get an independent developer come out, make a game and go straight to disc because I suppose the publishing companies aren't going to take the risk because of all the money involved in the marketing and the pressing the discs and the packaging and everything. It's a lot less risk to just let them put it on the arcade. So yeah, that's a tough one. I suppose really when you think about that, yeah, probably digital at the beginning is the only way for creative and unique games from non-major publishers. Yeah, I suppose you're right actually. Yeah, thinking about it, yeah, I probably agree with that. Okay, number 7. Do you feel on current gen systems that Microsoft etc. are too focused on non-gaming, e.g. iPlayer etc.? I actually don't, because I personally like all that stuff. I like the Media Hub. My PlayStation 3, as I said, is my favourite console because it's a Media Hub, because it's clean, it's simple, it's easy to use. It has the iPlayer, it has ITV Player and Channel 4, which are crap players, but it has the ITV Player, the BBC iPlayer on PlayStation is fantastic. You know, you get HD surround sound, the interface quality is superb. When they upgraded it to the new interface, so much better, and it's really well done. And I use my PlayStation 3 all the time. All my American TV shows, I watch them on the PlayStation. You know, if I watch Blu-rays or DVDs, I watch them on the PlayStation. If I want to play games, I play on the PlayStation. The PlayStation 3, for me, is without doubt the best machine that's come out this generation, and I don't have any problem at all with them putting all this media stuff on. I do have an issue when they put bullshit on, like Facebook and Twitter, and I'm not disrespecting those websites because I know a lot of people like them. I think they're crap, but that's my opinion. I just feel that there's no need to have them on a PlayStation or an Xbox. You don't need to have it on every single device. I know that that's what they want. They want you to have it in your tablet, in your phone, in your games console, in your computer, in your laptop, and, you know, God knows. I mean, Christ, I'm surprised they haven't come up with an app to put it on toilet roll at this point. It's just ridiculous. But I don't think it's necessary to have that always-on connection 24/7. Because me personally, I kind of get annoyed the fact that people are that hooked to it. The fact that people constantly walk around with the device with the phone like that, not communicating with other human beings. They're just looking at the phone going, Facebook, Twitter, Facebook, Twitter. It's like updating their status now. It's like, there are people around you, there's a world out there. Sod Facebook. Stop looking at your phone and interact with people, you know. It's really bad. I don't like that at all. It's as if they've brainwashed everyone and everyone's locked into this technology, but I don't think it's necessary at all. But in terms of things like iPlayer and Netflix and all the ones that the Americans have, like Hulu and all those services, I think they're a great idea. I don't really see a problem with it at all. And to have one box that streams a lot, it's fantastic. I mean, the Wii U, the Americans, you generally are getting that TV thing, the Nintendo TV, which is absolutely awesome. If it actually works like they're saying it's going to work, and they've shown it to work, that is going to be phenomenal. And I hope to God they do a deal with Sky, and or you know, I just want to be able to do that. It'd just be so awesome to be able to control my Sky Plus with the Wii U controller and to have all the options of Netflix and all the other services and iPlayer, and that would just be bloody brilliant. Please, Nintendo. I really want that. So yeah, I'm a massive fan of one-box solutions. I think they're a great idea. Next one, last question. Question number 8 from John Williamson. In your opinion, do you think Kickstarter campaigns are a good thing, which means developers are free to create their initial visions, or is a publisher-stroke-developer relationship best for AAA titles? Good question. If it's used right, Kickstarter is a really good idea. I think at the end of the day, some games, I can't remember the name of the company, but there's a company who's a big developer, and they put out a game through Kickstarter. They went through there to get the money, obviously, and it was a point-and-click adventure. And the reason being that, as far as I'm aware, I haven't really researched it. It's just little bits I've picked up here and there. But as far as I understand, it was basically down to the fact that most publishing companies won't touch that kind of game because they think that point-and-click adventures aren't popular enough. And I can understand that. They don't want to take the risk of the investment. So I think in that respect, Kickstarter is a great idea, because if someone's got an idea and they want to put it out there and they want to resurrect an old genre, or they want to create a completely unique genre, at the end of the day, publishers, you know, people like EA and Activision are in it for the money, and they have to make their profit. It's as simple as that. And so that's why they bang out your Call of Duties, your Battlefields, not so much Medal of Honor because it hasn't taken off yet, but your big core franchises, you know, your FIFAs, your Maddens, your NFLs, because they just keep them ticking over, because they always sell and they always make a shitload of money. And so they are going to be, unfortunately, because of the budgets involved in making games these days, they're just going to take the easy route, and they're going to go, well, why would we risk making a game that may sell, say, 100,000 copies, if you're lucky, when we can put out a game that could sell 500,000 copies, 1 million copies? I mean, they're just not going to take that risk. From a business standpoint, it makes no sense. You know, as much as gamers, we like to see unique properties come out. From a business standpoint, and it is business, that's what it comes down to, they're not going to take that risk. So I think Kickstarter is a great idea because it gives all of us the opportunity to invest in a game. I saw Pete Dorr talking about a new version of the Great Giana Sisters that's only on PC at the moment, but you know, I think that was through Kickstarter as far as I'm aware. It looked fantastic, and really great idea. So yeah, I think Kickstarter's fantastic. Right, okay guys, so that was John's questions. Thank you, John, for the questions. Really top bloke, by the way. And the next questions are from Dave Play, another top bloke. Alright, Dave? Alright, Dave. Okay, so what's Dave asking me? Just read his comment first of all. Cool. Okay, question number 1. Just grab me a cup of tea because I'm getting a bit thirsty. Let's just stick to me coaster, that's clever. Question number 1. What game has made you rage the most? What did you do? There's a list. That's a good question. I'm trying to think what game, the last game to make me really get pissed off. It probably was Rage actually by id Software. That game pissed me off. Man, that was shit. It was so broken. Looked great, played like shit. I'm trying to think other than since then. Halo Anniversary knocked me because Halo Anniversary is hard, man. Going back to the original Halo and the way that game plays, and I mean, I love health packs. I prefer health packs that regenerate health crap because that's just stupid. But man, that game's tough when you go back and play it now. You've only got regenerating health and you've got limited ammo, and it is hard, and especially with the levels being as long as they are as well, and you're trekking all over the place. And if you ain't got the ammo and you're just wandering around trying to find it, it's a pain in the arse. I think the last time I really lost my patience and properly got pissed off was a long time ago when I played Prince of Persia, what's it called? Forgotten Sands, that was it. That game was brilliant, I absolutely loved it, but near the end of the game, it got to the point where you got crab position, so basically you got the PS3 DualShock 3 and you're like that, you're clawing the bloody controller because you've got to do so many combinations at once to get through a level, and it just got infuriating. There's bits where you got to unfreeze, freeze, jump, bounce, and Christ knows what else, and there's one bit right near the end, and I had to do this jump, and it's been such a long time, but I remember that it was like that, and you had to basically come across there, bounce off there. As you jump, you had to unfreeze a piece there to get through it and land on the next one, and it took me so many attempts to get it right, and I literally just got the controller bang like that, and it bounced and went flying across the room and hit the floor, and I was like, oh shit. Yeah, and when it gets like that, it's never a good thing. I have to just turn the game off and walk away because that ain't good. I find that a lot in modern games though, they tend to really push my buttons, and sometimes it's mainly because it's shitty development, and developers have got this idea that they have to make a game extremely difficult, and they have to force you to constantly die and die again, and I don't understand the point of that. It just makes the game shit. So I've never understood why they do that. Don't get it with retro games. I never get that angry with retro games. I just enjoy them. You know, if I die, I die, and I'll just go back and try again, and they're fun. So yeah. Question number 2 from Dave. What genre of games would you like to see more of? That's a good question, Dave. What I would like to see would be scrolling beat-em-ups make a comeback. I just don't know how they translate in the modern world with the graphics and the 3D worlds, because technically when they're doing 3D they look a bit shit and they don't really work, so they need to really think that through. But yeah, I'd really like to see scrolling beat-em-ups come back. It's been good seeing like 2D platforms coming back on the Wii as well. That's been really nice, and obviously on the Xbox Arcade and PSN, and you're seeing like the classic Sonics being redone. I do love that. I do love platform games, so that's a really good thing for me. What else is there? Because most genres nowadays are actually pretty well covered. I mean, you know, if you like a genre, you can't go wrong with it. I mean, like first-person shooters, you can't move 5 feet without tripping over a new one. And every other genre is pretty well stacked. So yeah, I mean, it's really more a case of bringing old ones back, like the point-and-click adventures, which I love. You know, obviously, as I said, scrolling beat-em-ups, which are just fantastic. Maybe some more puzzle games would be nice. I'm not a big puzzle game fan, but like games like Lemmings, those kind of type of games, I really like those. And when I was younger, I really got into also games like Populous. I don't know why either, because it's not really my kind of game. It's like a God Sim, isn't it? I think that's what we call them. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. Question number 3. Which game do you think has the best full soundtrack, or what is your one favourite piece of music from a game? Dude, that's hard. That is a really difficult question. I'd probably say, if you're talking over time, the whole of my life of gaming, I'm probably going to go, and it's a bit of a time, I would say Street Fighter, because Street Fighter 2 just the best music ever, full stop. But Castlevania 4, Super Castlevania 4, has some of the most amazing music I've ever heard in a game. It's just absolutely beautiful pieces of music on each level, and as each level goes on, the music just gets better and better, and it's just, the cave level in particular is my favourite. I just absolutely love that music. It's just so haunting and just absolutely beautiful. But then you've got like the modern games where it's all the cinematic and the orchestras, you know, the Halo soundtrack, which I absolutely love. I only have to hear that starting up and it just gets me in the mood for Halo and just puts a big smile on my face, and it just got that anthemic, energetic energy to it, and I just absolutely love that soundtrack. But then there's the Uncharted soundtrack, which is just so emotional and just beautifully scored all the way through the game. They really know how to set the tone when you're watching the cutscenes and draw you in like a film would do, and really put you there in the moment with the characters. I absolutely adore that game. The Uncharted series is just so good. Question number 4. What is your favourite takeaway meal? Pizza. Definitely pizza. I like curry, I like Chinese, but you can't beat a pizza. Yeah, I don't eat as many now because I did put a lot of weight on because I was eating a shitload of Domino's last year. Got a bit addicted to Domino's pizzas. They are fantastic. But you can't go wrong with pizza. I mean, it's just, you know, it's universal. You can just put anything you want on it, so it's a great meal. Right, okay, how are we looking? 21 minutes, I think that is. That's not too bad. Okay, so next question is from Sir Joseph. Thank you for the question. Do you like the King of Fighters series, and what is your favourite Jaguar game? Good questions. Not really played the King of Fighters series, to be quite honest with you. I've always been more... I've tried playing other games like Fatal Fury and Art of Fighting, and they're okay, they're enjoyable, but I've never really played King of Fighters. I have played like Darkstalkers, and I'm trying to think what that other game was that I got on the Xbox, but I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, generally, and personally, I've never really found a fighting game outside of Street Fighter that really grabs me and I really want to play a lot. Mortal Kombat I like, it's decent, but yeah, I'm a Street Fighter kid. I have been since the 90s and I can't get past it. Favourite Jaguar game? I haven't really experienced enough games on that system, if I'm honest. I've only dabbled in the Jaguar, so my limited knowledge, I'm probably going to say Doom. I mean, Doom's on everything, but it's a really nice port on the Jaguar. Even though they didn't put any music in, which pisses me off, but it's a really tasty game. Other than that, Kasumi Ninja's really good. It's a bollocks game, but it's really fun, and it just cracks me up, and I just love the speech and everything, and the Scottish bloke firing fireballs out of his kilt. I mean, it just don't get better than that. Next question is from Darren J 100882. Thank you, Darren. Okay, Darren's question is, do you think gaming will be your passion until the day you leave the planet? Definitely. No doubt about it. I've never, if I ever had a day where I don't game, there's something wrong with me. I just don't see it happening. As I've said before, it's like breathing. It's just natural to me. I don't even think about it. It's not so much a hobby, or it's just something I do. It's just, you know, it's an entertainment. It's when I'm pissed off and I need to just chill out and get away from the real world, put on a video game, it just takes you away, and it's just brilliant. It's just the best form of media, without a doubt, as far as I'm concerned. I love films, I love music, but gaming, yeah, I just can't imagine not having it in my life. It'd be crap. Okay, next question from Matt Newell 1. Hello, Matt. It says, congrats on your 3,000 subs. Thank you, Matt. Okay, so question number 1. What is your favourite Super Nintendo game of all time? Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Enough said. I've still got a lot of games that I haven't played on the SNES and I need to experience, and I've been experiencing a lot more as my collection's grown, which is good. But yeah, it always comes back to Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I mean, Street Fighter 2 on SNES, hands down, best version of Street Fighter ever released, in my opinion. And Turbo especially, it's the best version of Street Fighter 2. It's just quality. All the characters, the fantastic music, the speech, the changing of character outfits, using bosses, it can't be beaten. You know, the modern Street Fighters, they're alright, but quite honestly, from Street Fighter 3 upwards, I couldn't care less. They're okay, but Street Fighter 2 Turbo, the best game ever. And what's your favourite Amiga 500 game of all time? Jesus Christ, that's a hard one. I don't even know, mate, to be honest. And I can't even remember most of the games I played as a kid. I had like boxes and boxes of Amiga games, like most people probably did back then. So to pick one game would be really difficult. I have certain games that stick with me, like Xenon 2, Magic Pockets, which I absolutely adore that game. Bloody brilliant. The Killing Game Show, fantastic. Vodland, Speedball 2. I mean, Lemmings. Christ, Lemmings just sucked my life up when I was a kid. Absolutely love that game to bits. I really don't think it's possible to pick one Amiga game, because the Amiga is such a great computer and has just such an amazing library of games. Monkey Island as well. You know what I mean? It just the list never stops. So I don't know. No, it's impossible to pick one. Question number 3. Would you do anything different if you had to start your Super Nintendo collection again? I'd be a lot more strict. I'd make sure I didn't deviate and start buying stuff for the sake of buying stuff, which I have done in some games. I've been pretty strict to a degree. I haven't completely lost control like I have with all the other systems I've ever owned, because every other system by the SNES I've ended up buying stuff that I don't really need or want. So I have recently slimmed my Super Nintendo list down as well and taken out the games I really don't care too much about and I was going to buy just to experience, but I thought no, there's no point. Just buy the games you want to play and the games that you know are good. That's the best way to go. So yeah, I would have been a lot more stricter than I have, and I've been pretty strict. And question number 4, what is the first Wii U game you think you will buy? Well, the first one will be Nintendo Land because it comes with a console. But I have pre-ordered a few games, and yeah, I've pre-ordered a few, just put it that way. I won't say what I've ordered. Not that it's going to be really bloody obvious, I would have thought, because if you know me, you know what games I like. So, but yeah, I'll show you on launch day. That's the best way, I think, to be honest, Matt. Okay, Riddler on YouTube, top bloke. Thank you for the questions, mate. And his question is, on any console, do you prefer playing arcade ports or original console-only releases? That's a good question, dude. Both, really. Yeah, I mean, back in the 16-bit era, the arcade ports are what makes the console great. But then, you know, your SNES and Mega Drive as well, you also get like some absolutely phenomenal console-only games. So that was really the great time because you had the both. You know, you had all those awesome arcade games we were playing as kids in the arcades on holiday, and you were coming home and playing pretty damn good ports of them on the consoles. You know, I mean, they wouldn't have been arcade perfect, but they were bloody close. I mean, Street Fighter 2, you know, far off. And obviously you get the original content like all the Nintendo titles and the Sega titles and all the third-party publishers, and that was really cool. I mean, nowadays, I mean, do they even make arcade ports now? I know you have Time Crisis 4, but I mean, generally, the arcade's just not what it was, is it? So, but yeah, I like both. You know, if it's a great game, it's a great game, I think. Next questions are from, and I hope I pronounced this correctly, mate. Is it Furza77? T-H-E-R-Z-A. I hope that's Furza. Thank you for the questions, mate. Okay, just drink me tea. Okay, question number 1. If the Super Nintendo never existed, dread the thought in brackets. You're damn right there, mate. What would be your main collection? Oh, that's interesting. You know, I've never really thought about that. I think, to be honest, looking at the way I've been collecting, it would probably be the original Xbox. Because I've got, like, I don't know exactly, but around about 220 games, I think, so far for it. And I always pick them up when I see them, because I absolutely love that system to pieces. Yeah, it probably would actually. It'd probably just be the Xbox, because it's such a great system, and the games are so cheap now. And to be able to have such a nice catalogue of games is just awesome, because I love that system to bits. And if it wasn't the Xbox, it would be the PS1, because that system is phenomenal. Amazing library of games. But I mean, those are my 3 main favourite systems, but I don't know, other than that, it's a really tough one. I think, yeah, it really is only the Super Nintendo, the Xbox and the PS1, because all the other systems, if I had to get rid of them, they wouldn't bother me. But I don't think I could get rid of those 3 systems because that's just so great. But that's a really good question. Because really everything orbits around the Super Nintendo, because my Super Nintendo is my main collection and it is the collection I care about the most. But and I've never wavered from that either. It's weird, I've stuck with it, and I never really thought about selling any of the games or doing anything to, you know, diminish the collection as it is. So that's pretty cool, actually. Question number 2. Knowing that you have an eclectic taste in music, what are your opinions, if any, on my personal favourite band, the Wu-Tang Clan? Great choice of music, mate. If I'm brutally honest, 36 Chambers was the best album. After that, nah, not at all. I thought the second album was crap, and then I lost interest after that. And I sort of like listening to the side projects more, like I can't remember what the song was. It, I think it was the Jizza, Liquid Swords. I think that's what the album's called. I've got it over there somewhere. That album is fantastic. I remember it coming out. My mate was a massive Wu-Tang fan, and he was really into Raekwon. I think that's the right one. Raekwon the Chef. I think that's who he is. I was never into him myself, but my mate was a massive Raekwon fan, and then he was listening to his album at the time, and then he got Liquid Swords by the Jizza, and he was like, "You've got to check this out." And I just loved it, absolutely loved it. I used to just carry it around me all the time, my personal CD player back in the day. I had my big headphones on, and I just walk around the street, just listen to that constantly. It was just quality music. But my favourite member of Wu-Tang is Method Man. Method Man is the best, man. John Blaze. You've got to love that John Blaze shit. He's just, the dude's awesome. He's just got so much charisma. You know, ODB was just mental and just funny as hell. But yeah, John Blaze is my man. Awesome. Also, do you remember Sons of Man as well? That was like an offshoot. I don't know if that was like some... I can't remember when that Sons of Man came about. If that was that they were somebody that the Wu-Tang, one of the Wu-Tang members brought on board and helped make their album or what it was. I don't know what the deal was there. But I got the Sons of Man album over there, and from what I can remember, that was pretty decent. So yeah, Wu-Tang great. I just didn't like it when they started doing like gravel pig shit. That was just too commercial. It was just shit. It was like when they went from 36 Chambers, which was just so raw and rugged and just absolutely vicious. It was such a bloody... I mean, the mystery of chess boxing, to go from that to do gravel pit, what the hell happened there? I suppose it's called being famous and being successful. You have to sell your soul to the record industry. Question number 3. What is your favourite video game case box? Would it be on the SNES or possibly the Xbox? That's a good question. I take it you mean by artwork. That is tough. I'm trying to think of all the games that I've got. It's going to be SNES, and more than likely be Super Famicom, the Japanese version, because the artwork on those boxes is just phenomenal. And if I'm honest, then here we go again, Street Fighter 2 Turbo is probably one of my favourites. If you look at the video recently when Skunkworks sent me the copy of Street Fighter 2 Turbo, the Japanese Super Famicom version, the artwork is fantastic. On the front cover you got all the characters and you got Chun-Li right at the front, dead centre. Absolutely superb. I mean, to be quite honest, any Japanese Super Famicom game, there's the odd one that's a bit crap, but I'd say 99% of them have the best artwork ever. They are fantastic. It's really difficult to just pick one, but yeah, Street Fighter 2 Turbo definitely stands out. And question number 4. After seeing the recent trailer for the new Metal Gear Solid game for the PS3 and the amazing game engine that seems to have been created for it, do we really need the next gen? I'm not convinced, right? I mean, I have heard that Kojima has said that is on PS3, 360 and PC. I just don't see that working on... If that's on Xbox 360, it ain't looking like that. They're going to downgrade the shit out of it. It will look decent, but that's got to be on the PC, what they showed on that demo, because I think even the PS3 is going to struggle at this point. I mean, the PS3 is like 5 years old, the Xbox is 6 years old. If they said to me they're going to put it on the Wii U, I'd have gone, yeah, fair enough, it does look like that because the Wii U's modern technology, I totally understand that happening. But yeah, that game, I was pretty blown away by it. I mean, I'm not a massive Metal Gear fan, I love the first game. Didn't get into the second one, never played the third one. Tried to play the fourth one, it got on my tits with the stupid cutscenes. I love cutscenes, but not for half an hour. So yeah, and I just find them really difficult to play as well. No, I don't know. Number 1, played through it, loved it to bits, absolutely adored it. I try and play it now and I just get caught every 5 minutes, it's really frustrating. But yeah, I must admit, that was a really, really impressive demo. Even just as a tech demo, it just really did blow your mind up, and we definitely need the next gen. I don't think... I mean, I've got to be honest, me personally, for graphics, I don't think we need the next gen for graphics. It's more about the gameplay now, about getting the AI right, getting the game mechanics right, you know, making them more interactive and more fun. And, you know, it's a bit difficult because the fine line between making the games tighter and making the AI better and actually making the games more realistic. And I don't like when they go to make it too realistic, because it's supposed to be a game. I don't want to play real life, I want to play a video game. You know, I want to escape, I want to immerse in that world. So it's nice to have the upgraded graphics. I mean, the Wii U, give it a year, once they've got used to the technology, the games are going to look stunning. They're going to piss all over what the PS3 and Xbox 360 can do. But it's not essential. It's just nice, it's just an extra layer of immersion, I find, that when you're in a beautiful environment and you're like, wow, look at that. I mean, don't get me wrong, we all get impressed. You turn a game on, like you play Uncharted 2 and it's like, holy shit. But it's not the be all and end all. The gameplay is the most important part. So, yeah, I think if you're just talking solid graphics, yeah, we definitely do need the next gen, because I don't see Metal Gear Solid looking like that on the PS3 and Xbox 360. It looked pretty close on the PS3, it just won't look as good as that. If it looks like that on the Xbox 360, there must be some kind of magic they're using, some kind of voodoo, because I just don't see how they can do it. But they might surprise us, you never know. So, next set of questions are from the Unreal Gamer 247. Hello mate, and thank you for the questions. And his first question is, what is your favourite current gen game of all time? Uncharted 2. End off. I don't need to say anything more than that. The game is phenomenal. I can give you my top 3 actually. Uncharted 2, Heavy Rain, GTA 4. That's my top 3 for this generation. Amazing games, loads of replayability, just absolutely phenomenal experiences. And we still have some games coming that I want to play, which could end up being in my top 5, which will be The Last of Us and Two Souls, because I'm really looking forward to those games a lot. And if I'm honest, there was one more game I would put on in my top 5. Well, I'm just trying to think if I've got a 5th game. Top 4 at the moment, just put it that way, because I can't really think of a... Of course there's a top 5 at the moment before those games come out. Halo Reach, what was I thinking? How can you not have Halo Reach, and that game's stunning? Yeah. Now I'm thinking top 5, more games are popping in my head, like GoldenEye on the Wii. But yeah, another game that I absolutely adore this generation, and I know it got a lot of flack in the press, but I absolutely love it, and it's Medal of Honor, the 2010 release. Yeah, alright, it was a bit limited, but I absolutely love that game. I really enjoyed the story, I love the characters, I thought the settings were fantastic, the pacing was spot on. It was a lot more slower paced, a lot more methodical, I don't want to use the word realistic, but a lot more cinematic, and a lot more... well, I suppose it is realistic. I just don't like using that term, because I don't want, as I say, I don't want realism all the time. But it made me feel like a real soldier, which sounds stupid because it's a video game, I know. But Modern Warfare and the Call of Duty games, they're just arcade games. That's all they are. Whereas the Medal of Honor games seem to be really giving you that true sense of being a real badass soldier, and I really enjoyed that game a lot. Number 2, are you getting Far Cry 3? Hell yes, absolutely. Ever since I've seen it at E3 and the demos they've been putting out, it just looks fantastic, and the acting is right up there. I mean, that demo at E3, that was impressive, the tiger and everything, and the animations on the characters were just stunning. I know, I suppose it comes back to graphics again as well now, but yeah, I mean, it's really impressive, that game. The gameplay looks really fluid as well, and it seems to be crafting a really nice storyline. And is it Voss? I think they've got Vass or Voss. I don't know how you pronounce his name, but the villain, the dude who's playing him, is doing a phenomenal job. I mean, he's just absolutely mental. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one a lot. That's going to be quality. Number 3, what are your thoughts on the Grand Theft Auto games? Well, there we go, I think I've already answered that one. Yeah, love them. Absolutely love them to bits. The only game I've never liked is GTA Vice City, and that's the one that everyone seems to love. And that's mainly because I don't really like the 80s vibe. It just doesn't do it for me at all. I couldn't care less about it. I was more into San Andreas, because that was like when I was a teenager, and you got like the dude that looks like Eazy-E, and it's all the hip hop music, and you know, the whole 90s like rap, and it's just like, yeah, this is me. That was my environment, and I absolutely adore that. I thought San Andreas was great. It was just too big. And GTA 3, I remember getting it on the PlayStation 2 and just seeing the rain and just being absolutely stunned. That game was fantastic, it really was. It plays a bit shit now, the controls, it ain't the best. But GTA 4 for me, without doubt, was the best GTA they've made. I know a lot of people disagree with that because they think it's got away from what GTA is and it's too serious. But I honestly think it's better for it. I really like the story, I love Nico Bellic as a character, I thought the surrounding characters were all really well crafted. There wasn't anyone that got on my tits, and that's very rare that happens in the game, because there's usually at least one character that's annoying. But no, I thought GTA 4, absolutely bloody brilliant. The only thing they needed to do really was tweak the shooting, the mechanics for the cover system, that were a bit crap, and they could be kind of frustrating at times. Another thing a lot of people hate on GTA 4 for some reason is the driving, whereas I think it's absolutely phenomenal. It actually felt like you were driving a real car. It didn't feel like you're driving a car in a game, and I thought that was just, I don't know how they did that, but it was so cool, and I hope they keep that for GTA 5 because very impressed. I really can't wait for GTA 5. I just love sandbox games. Those sandbox games are quality. Number 4, what is your favourite genre of games? That's an interesting question. To be quite honest, I play anything at all. I'll give anything a try, except for RTS games, RPGs, MMOs, MMORPG, which is hard to say. That's it really. Anything else, I'm willing to give it a shot. Favourite, I'd say modern games. It used to be first-person shooters, and it still is a little bit, but it's more the action games, like the cover shooters, and the games like Uncharted and Gears of War, and not so much Gears of War, but more Uncharted. But I like action games with good storylines, and yeah, I mean, the modern game, I'm trying to think, I'm just looking at my collection to see what kind of games I've got over there. I do like a variety. It's really difficult to pinpoint really, because I mean, like last generation to this generation, there was a lot of first-person shooters. For some reason, no matter how many times a first-person shooter comes out, I want to play it. I never get bored of them, even though they're the same, pretty much essentially the same thing all the time, but they just don't get boring. But I love, this is what I find hard. I love action games, but when it comes to games like Devil May Cry, God of War, those are games I should enjoy, because they are essentially just button mashing, just beat the shit out of stuff, and that should be really my kind of game. But I find them extremely boring, I find them extremely difficult to get into, and I've tried and tried and tried and I just can't do it. No. My tastes are changing as I get older. There's a game called Fahrenheit that came out on the PlayStation 2 and the Xbox, and it was made by Quantic Dream, who made Heavy Rain. Those two games are just totally far removed from anything I would ever play, and the fact that I played both of those games and was absolutely blown away by them, and they absolutely sucked me in, was ridiculous, because I never expected that. I would never play a game like that normally. It was quite a shock that I actually got so impressed and so sucked in, because I wouldn't expect that. I'm a pretty mainstream gamer, you know, so that was a bit of a surprise. When it goes back to, like, when you go back generations, platformers are probably my favourite. I absolutely love platform games, never get bored of those. I'm trying to think, like, mostly like Super Nintendo. Scrolling beat 'em ups is obviously my favourite, if I think about it, because like first person shooters, it's the same thing over and over again, but it never gets old. I always find them really enjoyable. But I do love platformers. You can't beat a good 2D platformer. Next question. Okay, that question number 5. What are your thoughts on superhero games? That's a good question. It depends what it is. Batman seems to do okay. He seems to get quite a lot of good games. He's had the odd dodgy one, but generally you don't really go wrong with Batman. Superman doesn't seem to have much luck, and I never understood how they can't get it right with Superman, because Superman should be piss easy to make a good game. I remember there was an arcade game when I was a kid years and years ago. I don't even know if it was just called Superman or if it's called Superman with a subtitle, but I don't really remember too much about it. I think it was like a scrolling beat 'em up, but I really don't know. It's a vague memory. I remember playing it on holiday one time, and it was really, really impressive at the time. I thought it was great, and there's been games like Spawn on the Super Nintendo, which looks to be a really great game from what I've seen. And then there's it's a scrolling beat 'em up as well, my favourite. And there's the Shadow, which never got released on Super Nintendo, but you can buy a reproduction now, and it looks fantastic. Another scrolling beat 'em up game. Generally, superhero games seem to be fighters for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. I think superhero games, when done right, are really good. It's just they don't get done right a lot of the time, because a lot of the time they can just be franchise games, and they just be like, they just think, oh well, we'll just knock it together, throw it out. It's got a picture of Wolverine, or it's got the Hulk on the front, and some, you know, comic book fans will buy it, and action movie fans will buy it, and it's usually crap. But you do get the occasional one that does stand out, like the X-Men Origins Wolverine game, brilliant. What's that one? I'm trying to think. The Incredible Hulk game I've got upstairs, which was on the Xbox and PS2. I can't remember what it's called, but it's a really, really good game. It's like a sandbox game with the Hulk, really well thought out. That was an excellent game. And the Ultimate Spider-Man, I think it might be Ultimate Incredible Hulk actually. I think it was a series. They did the Ultimate Spider-Man, which was pretty decent as well. So yeah, I mean overall, superhero games, when they're done right, can be really, really fun. It's just unfortunately there's a lot of crap ones as well. Right, okay, so I'll do this next set of questions, and then what we'll do, we'll call it a day here, and we'll come back for part 2. So we have actually got some more questions from the Unreal Gamer 247. I didn't realise he'd asked so many questions. Jesus Christ, dude. Alright, okay. He says, please don't feel pressure to answer them all. No, it's fine. Question number 1. What new unreleased games are you looking forward to? Well, Medal of Honor's coming out, Warfighter. That's coming out at the end of the month. Can't wait to get my hands on that. Really excited to play that. I absolutely love the first one, as I said. The first one. The 2010 modern release. I love that game to bits. Really interested to see where they take it with this one. I'm a bit worried that they're going a bit too close to Modern Warfare and they're trying to be Call of Duty. I hope they don't, and I hope they stick to what made them good with the last game, and they don't take notice of the critics and they actually stick to what they were doing with Tier 1, because I really, really like it a lot. And the trailer they put out recently, the gameplay trailer, looks stunning. The Frostbite engine, yeah, phenomenal. So I'm really excited for that. Another one I'm really looking forward to is 007 Legends, which is coming out in a couple of weeks. I was a massive fan of GoldenEye on the Wii. I just thought they did such a great job, and Eurocom are making this new one as well. So I've got faith it's going to be a stunning game. Unfortunately, I'm not going to buy it yet. I'm going to wait because it's coming out December 4th as far as I'm aware on the Wii U. So I'm going to get on the Wii U because I've got GoldenEye on the Wii. It makes sense to get it on the Wii U. Plus I just want to buy all cross-platform games on Wii U if they get released on it. What other games? Obviously Two Souls, as I said before. The Last of Us, I really want that as well. Halo 4, definitely getting that because I love Halo and that game looks epic. That trailer at E3, as short as it was, wow. That game is going to be sweet. I'm trying to think what other games are coming out that are really interested me. GTA 5, obviously, when that comes out, I'll definitely be getting that. And then there's Assassin's Creed 3, which I'm not a fan of Assassin's Creed at all, but that game, again, it just really drew me in. The E3, I was just like, I want to play that game. It looks fantastic, so I'm definitely getting that. Zombie U, really looking forward to trying that one out. That looks quality. Right up my street, that is. And I'm just trying to think what else is. What else? You know, I actually can't think what else is coming out. There's not a lot coming out this year that I can think of that really, really blows my mind. But those are the main ones I want to get anyway, for definite. So I mean, that's a fair amount of games I think to be playing. Okay, question number 2. What is your favourite retro console or game? Super Nintendo and Street Fighter 2 Turbo. I'd sell everything and just have that. I'd never get bored of it. Well, maybe I would, but I haven't yet. I've been playing Street Fighter 2 on the Super Nintendo since the early 90s, and it's now 2012, so maybe I wouldn't. Question number 3. Do you have all the Uncharted series, and if so, which is your favourite? I do, and number 2 is my favourite. Probably a cliche, but it just is the best game, hands down. Number 1 was a brilliant start. Number 2 just perfected the game, and it's just, wow. There isn't anything. Tell a lie, there's one thing I don't like about number 2. The boss battle at the end. Shite. I've said it before and I'll say it again, it's shite. I hate that boss battle. It completely ruined the flow of the game for me. It didn't make sense, didn't work. It was irritating as hell. It was just too frustrating and difficult, and just made me smash the controller too many times. I just got really, really frustrated with it. Every time I play it, I absolutely hate it. Because I always cock it up and you have to listen to Lazarevic repeat himself over and over every time, and it really, really grinds me. It just, I hate that so much. Uncharted 3, I just didn't like it that much. I thought it was a good game, but it just seemed to be a bit soulless in the story, and it was lacking. There's some really good moments in the game, but the whole bit with the boat in the middle shouldn't have been there. They should have just dumped that. They didn't need that in there. It was just shoehorned in. It just didn't fit the game, I thought. It felt weird. It just felt completely disjointed with the rest of the storyline. I mean, there were things I really, really enjoyed in the game. I loved near the end when you get drugged. That was a really cool moment, and you got the blokes with the flaming heads. Just seriously cool. And you know, the relationship with like Nate and Sully and Elena and Chloe, and it's just, you know, it's just brilliant. The way they build characters. I mean, Charlie was a fantastic character. There's some really great levels in that game, but it just, for me, it didn't work as well as number 2. Number 2 was a perfect marriage of story, characters, cinematics, music, you know, the score, the sound effects, weapon choice, level design and layout, the pacing, the way that the levels were all lined up. It was the perfect, you know, nothing felt disjointed. It was all well done. The boss battles in the game were short and sweet and to the point, but exciting and fun to play. Except for that last one, which was so shit. God, I hate that. It's so annoying, but it's just a phenomenal game. I've completed it 4 times, and I'll probably complete it probably another 4 times. I'll never get bored of that game. It's brilliant. Interesting question number 4. What are your thoughts on the PS3 Super Slim? I don't really see the point in it. That's the short answer. If they come out and they'd have sold it for like £150 and it had the standard 160GB hard drive or 320 hard drive, I would totally understand the reason for it to go up against the Wii U. To bring it out at £250 with a 500GB hard drive, don't see the point in it at all. You don't need the 500GB hard drive, it's pointless. You can quite happily get by with 160 sorry, or 250. And if you really need to upgrade, you can buy yourself a cheap hard drive and shove it in your PlayStation. There is no need to have that half a terabyte. I mean, who the hell uses that kind of data anyway? I mean, Jesus Christ. Maybe people do, I don't know, I just don't think it's necessary. And I don't like the design of it, looks crap. I think it looks really cheap and tacky. And here we go again, because if you watch my video from when the original Slim came out and I just absolutely slated them for it, I now actually like the design. I still prefer the original design. The original fat PlayStation is the best design they ever came up with. But I just think it looks really shit, the new one. I don't like the fact that they've got 2 tones as well, where they've got that grating stuff, and then they've got like the matte finish and the plastic, and the fact that you don't have a drive, you just have that bit on the top that slides off. It just looks like some cheap Taiwanese knockoff. And it just looks crap. I would not give you 250 quid for that, Sony. I think they're having a laugh. And I just don't see the point. They should have brought it out. If they were going to bring it out at all, say 150. Say 150 for a 250GB model, 100 quid for a 160GB model. Drop the price of the PS Vita, bring out more games for the PS Vita, make more games cross-compatible with the Vita and the PS3. Then you've got something that's viable to challenge the Nintendo Wii U. At the moment, I think they're just missing a trick. And I hate to say it because I do love Sony. I think Sony are fantastic. I'm not a Sony fanboy, I'm not a fanboy of any company, but I do think Sony are brilliant. And they consistently care about the gamers. They always will take risks with exclusives, unlike Microsoft, who don't give a toss. Number 5. What do you think of today's music? Good question. Honestly, I don't really pay much attention to the charts because I find a lot of it crap. A lot of pop music is throwaway, which pop music always is, but I'm not an old bloke who goes like, oh, it's not like it used to be in the old days, because, I like modern music. Every now and again I hear a song I like. I love Rihanna. I like anything really that sounds good. I'll listen to it, I don't mind. I'm very eclectic, I'll listen to whatever. But I do find a lot of it crap. I mean, a lot of R&B and hip-hop, I loved that when I was younger. But then it hit that bit where Eminem came out and it all became popular and R&B became really mainstream. And it shows it's really gone downhill. When you've got people like Neo, I mean, Jesus Christ, he's so crap. He's just an Usher wannabe and he's nowhere near as good. Yeah, I just find it very bland. You don't really get a lot of originality anymore. It's just the same old shit, isn't it, really? That's why I like to listen to other types of music like jazz and metal. At least you get a bit of variety there. But yeah, I do find most modern music's just kind of okay. Not really phenomenal. I mean, occasionally you get the odd thing that comes out and, like Nicola Roberts had a great album. I like Cheryl Cole's music. That's pretty mainstream, but yeah, it's alright. Like, I love Jessie J. Jessie J's a breath of fresh air, can't say it. Yeah, Jessie J was stunning, awesome singer. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I'll be honest, I don't really pay attention to music as much as I used to, and I really should, but gaming's kind of like consuming my life a lot more than it should as well. Okay, question number 6, and we'll make this the last question before we start part 2, guys. If you could be any game character, who or what would it be? Good question, mate. I don't know. That's a good question. Probably Nathan Drake. Bit of an obvious one, but I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool, being Nathan Drake. Dangerous life to live, but you get the girl, you get to have fun, you get to go adventuring, you get to hang out with Sully, do some treasure hunting. Fair enough, you get shot at quite a lot and you have to kill a lot of people, which is a bit of a negative. But yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool, being Nathan Drake. That's always a hard question to answer, that one, I find. Right guys, well, thank you for watching the first part. It has been a long one, and I hope you're still with me, and if you are, congratulations. And I'll see you all again in part 2.